If you think you're not feminine enough because you're successful, independent, or strong-willed, you're about to discover that the most magnetic women combine both strength with these beautiful feminine traits that ultimately make men obsessed with them. And the best part, you already have these traits. You just need to know how to activate them. Feminine energy is not weakness. It is actually a strength. It's about radiating a vibration internally that allows you to magnetize your man in ways you've never experienced before. The women that drive men absolutely wild are the ones who are being their authentic self, who are radiating the very vibration, the very feminine energy that is at the very core of them. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to reveal to you 5 feminine traits that men find wildly attractive. And if you can embrace these whilst being your most authentic self, you will have a man in a relationship that can soar to completely new heights, and not something that's just obtainable, but sustainable over the long term. Now, the first trait is playful unpredictability. This is the trait that keeps men on their toes, which maintains a little bit of mystery. It's about being spontaneous and keeping that energy and that mystery alive within the relationship. One moment you're being playful and silly, the next you're being thoughtful and deep. You say yes to unexpected adventures. You suggest trying new things, but you don't always respond in ways that he always expects and anticipates. Now, how do you go about activating this trait? The first is start saying yes to spontaneous events. Send him unexpected texts that make him smile. Suggest doing something that you've never done before, and begin to laugh at yourself as well. I always believe that individuals that can laugh at themselves have more of a radiance about them because they're not always so serious all the time. If you can really make fun of yourself from time to time, if you can crack some jokes and be vibrant and be playful, it is such a magnetic quality. It really is. And it also lightens the atmosphere, not only for the relationship, but it lightens the energy within you. I promise you that radiance, that energy that you're giving off will be magnetic in so many ways, not just to your partner or someone that you're trying to attract into your life, but also to just friends and people that you may interact with at work and so on. That energy, it's magnetic. It is a lovely energy to be around, and you want to incorporate more of that into your life. Now, the reason why men become obsessed with this playful unpredictability is that men are typically wired to be problem solvers and hunters. If they can't predict what you're actually going to do, that makes you really interesting and engaging. And they want to spend more time with individuals like that. There's no boredom, there's no predictability. You're a delightful puzzle that they want to keep solving. It's wonderful to get to know your partner, to almost read their mind and to anticipate things. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, it's really cool to have the yin and the yang. There has to be some certainty in there, but at the same time there needs to be some variety and some spice there, and that beautiful balance can really take a relationship to a whole different level. The second trait is emotional fluidity. This is your ability to express your emotions freely and in a very authentic way, but without them controlling you completely. Most people end up in a situation where their emotions either completely override them or they just shut them down completely. And when you're at either end of those spectrums, that causes all sorts of problems. If it's too much and it completely overwhelms you and controls you in such massive ways, and it leads you to being irrational with certain behaviors, well then for him it's just like, man, this is just too much. So it's about striking this balance. Now, how do you do that? Firstly, start expressing your emotions openly. If something makes you happy, show it. If something actually makes you sad or feel down, express it. But don't blame him or punish him for any of it. Just acknowledge, hey, listen, just feeling a little bit down at the moment, or I'm working through a couple of things and I'm just trying to process. Don't suppress your emotions because you don't want to burden him or you want to appear like you're easygoing. That is not the way to approach this at all. The right balance is emotional fluidity. Feeling deeply, expressing it, but not letting your emotions completely control you to the point where irrational behaviors occur. Now, why do men become obsessed with emotional fluidity? Men are often emotionally repressed. When they see a woman who can express emotion naturally and feel it deeply, it's like watching a dance. Your emotions create color and richness in their black and white world. Now, what does this look like actually in practice? If you're feeling happy about something, express it. Men love to see that lightness in their partner's energy. If you're touched by something that he did, really express it to him. Let him know how you feel about it in a beautiful and authentic way. If you're sad about something, don't hide it. Express it and let him comfort you and support you through it. That comfort can make him feel like your protector. Number 3, intuitive wisdom. This is the ability to sense what's really going on beneath the surface. With him, with situations, you can read between the lines and sense things at a gut level. And you often know what's actually going on at a deeper level without even being able to really explain it. I really believe that women have an incredible level of intuition. And that also means that if he's going through some tough times, you can pick up on that. And you intuitively know, okay, this might be the time where you need to back off. This might be the time where I actually need to ask him some questions and so on. A lot of people doubt because they're coming from a place of fear. They're concerned about if I say this and say this, then how's he going to react? So they don't trust in their own intuition, but that intuition exists. It is an intrinsic part of who you are. And so it's really important to let that shine. I can't tell you how many times I've had my clients tell me, look, my gut feeling was suggesting that he, just needed a little bit of a cuddle in that moment. Your intuition is your superpower, so don't neglect it. So how do you activate this? Start by trusting your gut feelings. Don't be afraid to share things that are coming up intuitively. When something feels off or doesn't feel right, don't ignore it. Actually share it with them. Practice reading people's energies and emotions, and once again, feel free to share that with him. And if you're picking up something about a particular individual, maybe you caught up with someone for lunch and you just had a gut feel about something that they're going through or something didn't feel right, share that with them. The more you actually communicate those things, the better. Now, why do men become obsessed with this intuitive wisdom? Because men live in a world of logic and facts. And in order for an individual to become whole, they need to be exposed to the very opposite to what and the way in which they approach things. It also allows you to help him navigate emotional complexity. Basically means is that if you're sensing that something's not quite right, you might go up to him and give him a big cuddle. Say, hun, how are you doing? Or, hun, I know you. Something doesn't feel right at the moment. Talk to me, sweetheart. Talk to me. And you might notice he'll start to open up. When you open up, you can build a greater level of connection. Because when you can really understand an individual at a deep level, that's where strong bonds are formed. Great relationships have depth. Fourthly, graceful strength. This is your ability to be strong and confident while maintaining your feminine softness. You can handle challenges, make decisions, and be independent whilst retaining that lovely softness, and you do it with grace and not aggression. You're strong like a willow tree, flexible but unbreakable. You don't try and compete with men and try and be one of the boys. Now, how to activate this? When facing challenges, stay calm and graceful. Don't try and outdo the masculine. Show your strength through your actions. Be confident and not aggressive. But at the same time, don't always try and take over things that he's going to do. If you sense, once again, through intuitive wisdom, that he feels the need to step up in those moments, let him. And then it's okay from time to time to say, hun, that suggestion you have, that sounds wonderful. I'm just wondering, if we went down that path, what do you think would happen if this occurs? And do you think maybe if we tried it like this, it might be a good option? So you're including him, you're challenging him a little bit, you're doing it with strength, but you're not coming in there hard and saying, no, you're wrong, or you're this, or you're that. That's where a lot of the time men get really triggered by it. Now, why do men become obsessed with this graceful strength? Men are naturally drawn to strength, but they're also drawn to femininity. When they see a woman who can be both strong and soft, that's extremely attractive for a man. It's handling a situation with calmness and confidence. Being able to make decisions without being bossy. Standing up for yourself without being aggressive. But at the same time, being open to the suggestions and the opinions that he has. And finally, radiant receptivity. This is the ability to receive compliments, gifts, just nice gestures, acts of service and so on, with genuine appreciation and grace. So many times I hear from men where they do something for their partners and then they feel a little bit let down by the response. They weren't as excited about the gift that they thought they were going to get. Or, they didn't want that help, or they didn't appreciate the things at the level that they wanted it. It is such an important thing. There is a level of vulnerability at the deepest level. They too want to have those nice compliments. They too want to feel significant and special and unique. And if they go out of their way to do certain things, they want to know that their partner is actually going to receive things well. It's not just about giving, it's about the ability to receive and to allow good things to happen. Now, how do you activate this? When you actually give something, really genuinely say thank you and appreciate it. If that means you give them a hug, or you just hold them a little bit longer, look them in the eyes, say, thank you so much, hon. That just meant the world to me. I can't wait to use this, or I can't wait to put that beautiful picture on our wall. That further makes them feel like, wow, I've done something so special for my woman, and I just love her so much. When he offers help, accept it gracefully, even if that's as simple as when you're at the supermarket and he wants to carry the bags for you. Let him carry it. It's once again a way of just allowing him to step into his masculine whilst you step into your feminine. That doesn't mean you're not capable of it. It means you're just creating the right environment to allow the balance of the masculine and feminine energy to occur. Now, why do men become obsessed with this? Because men want to be the providers and the givers and so on. When they find a woman who can actually receive gifts and receive praise and receive all of those compliments and so on in a beautiful way, it makes them feel more significant in those moments as well. Your ability to receive makes them feel successful and makes them feel more masculine. Now, what this looks like in practice, when he says something like, oh, I love your dress, rather than saying something like, oh, what, this old thing? Or no, I don't really like how I look in it. Actually, just say something like, thank you so much, hon. I love how you love this dress. It makes me feel so special. Thank you. When he pays for dinner, just smile and say, look, I really appreciate you paying for it, hon, and that means the world to me. Thank you so much. It doesn't have to be a big grand gesture. Just those little tokens of appreciation mean the world to a man. I will say though, there's also a little balance there in that you don't want to take it for granted. So many times I hear from men who they go off and they pay for their woman for dinner or whatever if they go on a date, and that person doesn't even say thank you or acknowledge it on any level, and it makes them feel like that woman is just being a gold digger. So in terms of developing these traits, firstly, in terms of playful unpredictability, do one thing each day that is spontaneous and something you do differently than you would on other days. Whether that's trying a different route to work, or when you go and have lunch, you maybe have a different meal to what you might normally. Do something just a little bit different and get used to spontaneity and doing things a little bit differently. For emotional fluidity, just practice expressing one emotion that you may have been suppressing a little bit. Start by sharing that with people you trust, and then you can slowly express that to your partner. For intuitive wisdom, start trusting and sharing your gut feelings, or following your intuition around what you feel you need to do with your husband in those moments. When facing challenges, ask yourself, how can I handle this situation with grace and strength? Rather than just acting on your emotion, it allows you to take a step back and ask that question from a really grounded place. For radiant receptivity, the next time you receive a compliment, just say, thank you so much, I really, really appreciate that. And really feel that feeling on the inside of, wow, this person's really admiring my dress, or they're really admiring something that I've done at work or whatever. Play it up. You can do these things in a really lovely and humble way, but practice receiving. Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. You've got to keep that flow of energy going. Now, just a few traps to avoid. Firstly, don't try and do all of these at once. It might be too overwhelming. Just try one each week for a series of 5 weeks. Don't try and force things and be someone you're not. If you're struggling with some of these things, that's okay. Just write it down in a journal and just acknowledge, hey, look, I'm really struggling to receive at the moment some of these compliments. These are some wounds that are appearing, and I need to work through those individually. Really identify the areas that you need to work on. And we're not doing any of this to try and manipulate or control. It is about being your authentic self and growing and healing, so that ultimately you're coming from a place of love and not fear. Finally, focus on progress and not perfection. It's all about progress, small steps in the right direction, not trying to be absolutely perfect. Because when we focus on perfection, that is a standard that doesn't exist. And so we're going to be let down, and we're going to eventually start being really critical towards ourselves, and that's not an enjoyable thing. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this all makes sense. Make sure you begin to apply those. If you liked it, make sure you hit that like button below if you want to get more videos like this. hit that subscribe button. And one of the ways to really embody that feminine energy so you actually set that intention beautifully is by writing in the comments below, I now embrace my feminine energy in all its glory. And just saying that sets an intention out to the universe, to God, to really embody that inside of you. And what I recommend you do now is just click this video below and you're going to learn a little bit more about male psychology and relationships that I know is going to be really, really helpful as you progress forward. Thank you so much. God bless, and I'll talk to you in the next video.